Yeah, today's story goes back 24 years to the year 2001. And at that time, I visited an exhibition on Tibet, on the country of Tibet. And this exhibition taught me not only a lot about Tibet, but also something about my own culture. And this is something I would like to share with you because it kind of made me realize that we here in the Western world are not quite always as rational as we hope to be. But I need to start at the very beginning here to get my point across. Well, the exhibition was extremely well visited. I did a little bit of research. It was one of the most successful exhibitions, and at that time we also were taking part. I was taking part in a guided tour. And this lady there, I mean, she knew so much about the country and the culture. It was phenomenal. She knew way more than she told us. It becomes very evident sometimes when the tour guides know so much more than actually what they're saying. And we looked at the different cultural artifacts that were exhibited there. And I think in our group there were maybe about, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 people. And we were basically going from room to room, and she explained everything in great detail. And then all of a sudden, we reached this one room, and there was behind a glass box, because it was so delicate, there was a really strange looking object behind this glass box, very delicate. That's why they put this glass box around it. And we were gathering around this strange object, looking at it. I had no idea what it is. It was made of wooden sticks and strings and very delicate. But I don't know, it was really strange looking. As a matter of fact, if you want to know how it looks like, I put a link into the description below to a picture. And then the lady, our tour guide, says, well, that this is a ghost trap. A ghost trap. What? Yeah, it's a trap for ghosts, for spirits. And then she explained that the people put up those ghost traps in the environment, in nature. And when the ghosts, the spirits, when they're carried along by the wind, and when they touch one of those ghost traps, then they become entangled in all of the string, and they get caught. And then the people could take the ghost trap and burn it, for example, or dispose of it, or neutralize the spirit, the ghost somehow. And this is a system how they protect themselves against those ghosts. Some kind of I would say, ghost management. Reminds me a little bit of the Ghostbusters. They back in the day, in the 1980s, there was this movie called Ghostbusters, and those guys had this device which was able to capture the ghosts. Yeah, so off topic. In any case, this is what this little strange-looking thing was. And however, when I looked around among the people here who were participating in the tour, I saw this just by coincidence. I saw this one man standing across me, and he started to laugh a little bit, not loud, but to himself, kind of shaking his head. Something like that, kind of mocking the whole thing. Ghost traps. I mean, jeez. Yeah, I have to tell you, when I saw that, I didn't like that, right? We might not understand what a ghost trap is. It's not part of our culture, but I mean, you don't make fun. Yeah, but as the saying goes, things that people don't understand, they start mocking first, and then they start attacking it later. I mean, it's a saying. And he was at the mocking stage. He was kind of making ghost traps. Yeah, I really didn't like that, right? And interestingly, the lady, our tour guide, also saw that he was kind of going like this, and she immediately picked up on that, and she explained the whole concept. And this was very interesting. She said the following: those ghost traps, they serve a very, very important and central, maybe not a central role, but a very important role in that culture, because, now I quote her, the ghost traps worked. They worked for their environment and for their culture. Nowadays, we actually have a term for this. It's called a social technology. I myself didn't even know that this term exists. It's a social technology. These are devices and things that we humans make to be able to manage our life better. right? It's called a social technology. And of course, if there are ghosts out there, and then you got to manage them somehow, right? It's kind of a, I would say, ghost management system, so to say. For their environment and their culture, this was how they served, those ghost traps served an important function, right? So she explained this quite well. And then we continued the tour. And of course, I had to think a little bit about that. And then I came to one realization where I said, wow, we also have our little so-called ghost traps. We don't call them ghost traps. I call them time traps. Look at this, what I have here, a wristwatch, right? I mean, who says the time even exists? Time, I cannot see time, right? But still, we've got a device here, a social technology here, with which we're able to measure time. And not only that, not only hours, but also minutes. And not only that, we're actually chopping up the minutes into 60 seconds. How crazy is that? I mean, I'm not even able to keep the time down to the second when I have a meeting. And still we feel we have to divide time up all the way down to the second, right? I mean, I claim that a watch over here makes as much sense and as little sense as a ghost trap. It's a social technology, right? And if you believe in time, that time exists, and if we organize our time, our daily life around time, well, then of course we need a device, social technology to manage the time. So we've got a time management device, and in our society, in our culture, time plays a very important role. And I claim that time might be as hypothetical as ghosts are, right? So what I'm trying to say with that is we should not be so arrogant to believe, wow, how crazy are they? They believe in ghosts, and of course they don't exist. Well, I'm saying, how crazy are we that we believe that time exists, right? And I mean, to make it even worse, I've got a stopwatch on here which is able to measure all the way down to the 100th of a second. 100th. My reaction time is a tenth of a second. This device here is able to measure 10 times as precisely as my reaction time. I mean, this doesn't even make sense. It objectively doesn't make sense, right? And still I'm wearing it, right? So what I'm trying to say here is the following. We have to be a little bit careful when we're dealing with other cultures, and we have to be careful that we're not becoming too arrogant and saying, wow, I mean, ghost traps, how crazy is that? Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe there are other cultures out there who think that this kind of wearing a wristwatch is crazy because we're now dominated by time management, right? I mean, the whole life, I mean, it's not that we're managing the time, it's become actually worse that the time is already starting to manage us, right? I mean, how crazy is that? Yeah. So I just wanted to reflect a little bit on this and simply maybe also issue a little bit of a warning that we do not become too, snobbish, thinking, yeah, of course, so we've got it figured out, and ghosts don't exist, spirits don't exist. I claim, well, sure, yeah. Time is also a social construct, you might say, right? So I just wanted to share that story with you. And as always, there is, of course, a comments section below. It would be interesting to see and to hear or to read what your view of the whole thing is. All the best. Bye-bye.